Yo, 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 yo. I was just hitting this, so that's the only reason why. Smoke came out of my mouth. But yeah, I got my hair redone, and like I'm definitely like feeling the vibe of it all. It's been a good week overall. A lot of new discoveries, a lot of new things that I'm really realizing about myself. It's been good to just kind of continue this on and be able to like what's the word, kind of track it through this. That's more or less kind of where, where I'm at with everything that it is that I got going on. I'm just real ecstatic about my life and what I got, the opportunities that I have, the things that I got going on. I want to talk about a few different things. Um, First one being martial arts. I'm real grateful that like I got in with a studio that like it's got some real drillers in there. You know what I mean? We're really just doing a thing, and we're really working hard. Avery fought last Friday, which was dope. Shane's buddy Neil fought. Shout out to Shane too, by the way. Um, Neil won. So like made a new friend out of Neil, which was dope. He's a great fighter. Took a lot of shots early. Same with Avery, but they really both stayed composed throughout. Avery got a draw, but a draw is, I guess, is better than a loss. So I mean, he feels different about that, but that's just how I view it right now. But it was good to just kind of see how like what went into his process and how hard he worked to get to the point where he had gotten to a fight with Cage Titans. I want to hop on a card soon. Not ready yet, but maybe in the next like 3-4 months, I think I'll be fight ready. So physically, I'm in great shape. My cardio and conditioning is really good, and just need to sharpen up the skills and work a lot harder and keep working harder and then keep working hard and I'll see myself in there sooner rather than later. But yeah, just to go off of that, like definitely like a lot of development in that I'm seeing between like my kicks, between like my striking, like my knees, like just a lot more power, a lot more force, and like that's like the huge benefit that I'm seeing out of being over at USMMA is it's just like I just am getting better each week, and that's the great thing to see overall. It's great to just see myself evolve um, in the sport of martial arts. It's just fucking awesome. It's awesome to like really just see the evolution, just to see like the growth, and just to see um, the grind that I put into it. It's definitely paying off, and you know I'm doing a lot of yoga too, so I'm mixing the two together, and I'm really kind of just at a place where like I feel really well balanced with it, and then I think that was I always worked out before, but like this time around, I feel like I'm just a lot more focused in on like what it is that like I have to do, um, in the sense of how to get better and how to strive to be greater than I was the day before. If we could take 1% each day and that's what I'm doing each day, 1%, it adds up, and like I'm really starting to see that. Also, the psychological effects of martial arts is really what is I notice. It's a big thing I notice. I'm a lot more clear and focused um, outside the mat, which is like that's what the mat does. It's like it gives us this like ability to just like hone in on something, and like you can take that same focus and you can apply that to anything that you're doing in your life. Um, and that's like where I'm really grateful to like see overall um, the benefits of martial arts, because it applies in so many different areas. And same with yoga. It's just like the two of them together just go together. I'm just gonna take a sip of this water. Go together so well. Just in the sense that you're really able to like have this great balance of divine masculine and divine feminine. That's what it is for me anyways. That's the more or less the angle that I get off of it, when I'm like staying within the balance of it all. So like I'm really happy with the progress that I've made over the past couple months. I'm just in great shape. overall. I hit it really hard this week. So today I kind of just sat back and just, I'm like, you know what? Started watching this thing on the Okavango Delta, and I just hung out and just like I actually took class this morning, so I went this morning to class and then came back, took a nap. And just between working at the restaurant and doing that, like, no wonder I'm in good shape, because the restaurant, a lot of lifting, a lot of pushing stuff, a lot of carrying stuff on my hands, like a lot of like physical force that I'm using. So I use my body a lot, but the more I use it and the more I stretch into it and the more I get into it, the more powered my body is, to be able to do the things that I want to do. And that's where I'm super grateful, because I'm eating right. I'm like, started taking some of these Purion products, which are also great, and I'm just really just trying to keep up with it the best way I can. It's this week I kind of had a little, I don't even want to say it like I went backwards or anything like that, but I definitely like sunk to a lower vibrational state, which then once I did that, opened me up to some older tendencies, being lustful. That's a big one. So I really have to really try to stay in a higher vibrational state, because that's how it is for me anyways. I don't know how it is for other people, but like for me, like if I'm not constantly trying to raise my vibration through those things, through martial arts, through yoga, through my work also does it. It's just being a part of a team and being valued and like having purpose, and like if I feel as in my schoolwork, like that's another thing. I did really good last semester, and that's a reflection as to like how I'm focused. What I was saying about the mat just a couple minutes ago, like I'm able to take that focus and then apply it into my schoolwork, and I'm able to apply it into doing a channel like this, and like there's so many different things that I can do with the focus that I get on the mat and the focus that I get on my yoga mat, and being on the martial arts mat. So there's a lot that I've been able to take to transition into my life, and if I really don't constantly like work at what it is that I'm doing that keeps me in this higher vibrational state, then like I sink to a lower vibrational state, and then that makes for overeating. Still like food, I still enjoy it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I'm like the perfect eat great clean 100%. I don't, but I'm able to more balance that out more or less than not. I guess more or less I'm able to really have a balance with all this sort of stuff, and then but like if I sink too low, and that's on me, that's not on anybody else. If I choose to allow myself to sink to that point, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to want to continue to keep doing the things that make me stay in this high vibrational state. If that makes any sense. There's just certain things I have to do just on a regular basis, be it meditation, yoga, martial arts. Yeah, so like there's just many different things that that I'm doing consistently to stay in the state. Not every day is easy, and that's where all the stuff that I'm working on translates into my life. If there's a day that might not be as easy, I'm able to apply what I'm learning to make it a bit easier, and not allow myself to sink to that lower vibrational state. So that's like a big sort of key takeaway that I got this week, through on what's going on in the world, and I could just feel all that. So it's kind of, I just was feeling that, and I didn't fall, but I didn't use what I have gained. So that's why I felt like it was, I became a little lustful and became overate a little too much, and then I realized that now. So like that's more or less the kind of thing I had to really do to realize that, like, okay, like it kind of just honed in on that more. It just gave me more of like a deeper understanding of why I do the things that I do, and why it's so important to do what it is that I'm doing, because it's the lifestyle that I'm now living is a lot cleaner for me. It's a lot healthier for me. I'm taking better care of myself. I'm sleeping right, drinking a lot of water. Like I said, eating well with the balance of eating what I like. So it's important for me to continue to keep on this path, because it's not easy, right? Like it's not like Sometimes I do feel like I want to give in to the temptation. Sometimes I feel like I do, but then I snap out of it really quick, and like that's where I like attribute a lot of what it is that I've been doing, and working with the life coach, and like it's just been there's been just such a deeper shift within me, and that's like what that's the biggest thing that I've realized this time around. Like I first started working with Nick, and like I started getting into the medicine, and I started doing work on myself, and like, but like I feel like I just bypassed a lot of trauma and things that like and emotions that I didn't really feel. So like I sunk to that lower vibrational state, and then I stayed there for quite some time until finally I was ready to get my head out of my ass and get off my ass and do something about it. There was really no other way for me to really put that. And now that I can see kind of like what it, like how powerful it is when I want to make a decision to do whatever it is that I want to do, make that decision, and then I make the change. And like that's what I did this time. And like I didn't bypass this time. I was able to really go within myself to understand what it was that was causing me to keep staying in this lower vibrational state. And it took me a long time to like I said, now finally get to this point where I'm like, okay, so this is what it was, this kind of thing. So like I'm extremely grateful because it's not easy. Again, as I said earlier, it's not. It requires work. It requires a lot of sacrifices. And I'm lucky. I'm single. I don't have kids, and like I do want a relationship one day with a healthy partner that wants to love every part of me and love me authentically for who I am, and I want to do the same. But for now, I haven't found that person, so I better just keep all the energy within me. That's why I practice the semen retention. Again, the other night I got pretty close to almost letting it go, and I didn't, because I was able to really take what I have learned and take what has been working for me, and I was able to apply it in that situation. So that's what I mean. That's like when I'm in that situation, like I have to go back on what it is that I've learned that has gotten me to this place, and that's where I'm just extremely grateful that what I have done is working. Because if it wasn't working, then I would just keep doing the same thing. I would keep watching pornography. I would keep just overeating all the time. I wouldn't have any discipline to like train as hard as I do, or have the discipline to like maintain the seed, because that's what it was at the end of the day. Like when I was in that split situation where okay, I could have did it or not. Like it was more than discipline too. It was discipline also. That's the biggest factor of it, was like I had the control over that energy. And it's like I said, in our society, we're so exposed to like the release of it. And for me, the release of it is just that. You just release it, and then it's like, okay, so then what comes after that? No pun intended. No pun intended. But that's a big thing for me, and that's like I said, what I've really realized is it's just I realized that the importance of that. And I'm not saying that I will never do that. I don't want to be celibate forever. That's not my position. Like some of the Taoists, I've read into some of these Taoists that don't even have sex. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's not even that I don't agree with that. It's just because that's their truth, and who is for me to disagree with their truth? More or less, for me, I just don't want to be celibate. I think that I was brought on this earth to express myself sexually in a healthy manner, and not like an unhealthy manner, because it's like that's what I was doing for so long, and that's what is like I'm bringing all this to this now because it's making more sense as I talk about it. Like I my sexual energy was out of whack for such a long time, and I didn't have these understandings, so it's kind of like I didn't know what I didn't know, more or less. Yeah, like that's what it was. I just had no idea. I thought the way I was living was normal. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. Until I started to get more deeper into like pornography and like in like what all that entails, and being lustful, strip clubs and massage parlors. Like I started doing all that, and then I'm like, whoa, like okay, let me hold up here. Like this is some dark shit. Like this isn't who I am. Even the other night, it was like 2 nights ago, what it was. I'm like, holy shit, this is not even me. So like, I was able to see that other side of the polarity, and I think that that's what we as humans like almost need that. I think for me anyways. Like to just witness that other side of the polarity of what could happen on the other side, like what understanding the other side means in your overall advancement, or my overall advancement in terms of like my spiritual lifestyle. So like it's almost like I said, that polarity of my ego is like more or less like kind of whoops it kind of just whips me into shape. And this time it wasn't even. It's not like I even watched porn. I didn't this time. I haven't watched porn in like probably almost 2 months, almost 3 months, 2.5 3 months, and I'm really 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 happy about that. Done a lot of work around that to get myself to that. But the point of it is it's like I could start talking to maybe a woman that I shouldn't be, that maybe I had a thing with, that's only purely on the physical level. So it's like then it turns into that. It's not even really she's sending me pictures or any of that, but it's just it turns into me saying things that I don't. That's not even my character. Or like that, besides it's not even who I am. So when I see that shift, I'm like, whoa, like it kind of wakes me up. So that polarity is it's not all bad. I wouldn't even say it is bad. I think that it's just a part of me that shows where I need to do more work and where I need to do some more healing work, more or less. And but also it showed me how much work I've done, because I can pull myself out of it really quick. Again, no pun intended. But like I can pull myself out of that really quick. As to last time, it would just suck me in so much deeper. The food would I'd eat way too much. Like all of it. I can kind of get my arms around it. I don't even want to say arms around it. I think that I just am able to understand it, and understand that that's not even what I want. So that's where I'm just really grateful for the work that I've done, more or less, because like it shows that it's working in my life, and that's where I just encourage people to find what it is that works for them, because it's like, with the way the world's going, like, why would I not keep working with Nick? You know what I mean? It ain't about money. I pay him $1,000. I don't get a month. I don't, and I ain't even saying that as whatever. That's just what I'm paying him. I don't even if that's the cover the cost to get me to where I'm at now. Well, then fucking so be it, man. If I have to make more sacrifices to get to where I want to be at, well then fucking so be it, man. That's where I'm at with it all. I just made excuses for too fucking long. I'm tired of fucking making excuses. Tired of fucking just fucking crying in the corner, just making excuses as to why my life isn't moving in the direction that I want it to move into. And that's like what, again, I really really urge people, man, to just really tap into themselves, because that's where it's all at for me anyways. It's all within me. I'm the only one that's going to be able to like alleviate myself. As I just stated, I've been able to lift my vibration higher. I've been able to like go into my spirit and see where the healing needs to be done. And that's Nick has helped me. Like Nick was like I want to say like a vehicle. If that's maybe a vehicle, I'd have to. I'll think about it, and I'll think about it. But that's the word I'm going to use because it seems fitting. Nick's more like a vehicle. He more just kind of guides me to where it is that I have to go, and kind of helps show me that. And it was just he's giving me the information that I need, and then I'm able to sit on it and work on it. So that's where the importance, I think, of the coaching is very important to do that. I think that I would recommend it for anybody. I mean, you don't have to take I took plant medicine and worked with him, and I still take it. I haven't taken it in a little bit, but I still take it, and I still work with him, and it's like that worked for me. It might not work for you, so I don't know. I have no idea. But I think just gearing up with a life coach, just in general, I think it's vital, if you're trying to develop in whatever area it is in your life that you want to work in. You know what I mean? People say $1,000, so it's, I understand that money's tight for a lot of people. It could get tight for me too, but fucking I still make it work, because it's like, if I look at the current state of the world, I don't really see. I think humanity has to really do what we're doing, in the sense of, and I ain't the only one doing this. So So I know that man has other clients. So it's like, I mean, other people are doing the same thing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's like they might be doing it differently than I am doing it, but it doesn't matter. They're doing it. And I don't want to say that the life coach is the only way to go about it, because I don't want to. I don't want to like start saying this is how you have to do things, and because it's not. This is just what worked for me, and whatever is gonna bring you closer to yourself. I mean, I recommend just do it. Fucking start doing it. Start doing it now, even, because it's just look at the outside world. Civilization is kind of it's been deteriorating. I don't even mean like, oh, the nuclear war. That's whatever. That will come if it comes. I just mean leading up to this point. I mean, it's been deteriorating for quite some time, and I think that a lot of people in our society, more or less people who run the elite that run all this, have really blocked us off from ourselves. I think that the lifestyles that we live in the West are just really go, 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 go. It's just work, 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 nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. And that's where, like, I think that I've had to also find the balance between the two, because, yeah, I go to work and I enjoy my job. I don't feel like I'm doing a job that I fucking hate. It's just like I worked at Amazon. I fucking hated it. I didn't hate it. I shouldn't say that. I grew not to like it as I went on into it, and I just stopped going. I quit. It's like, yeah, sorry, done, guys. Not really going to continue this. And I'm grateful that, again, I have something that's not crushing my soul. I went to the DMV last week. It was actually a week ago. I went to the DMV, and like, this lady was so rude to me. It's obviously she just probably doesn't like her job, and it's probably, she probably has a lot of things she's dealing with, and just more or less open my heart to her than be an asshole. Everyone be an asshole back to her. Yeah, I don't think that that's a great way of handling a situation like that. So I was able to handle it and take care of everything from my car. But that's the point. Is maybe she doesn't like her job. I'm just guessing this. I have no idea. Maybe she doesn't like her job. Maybe she doesn't like what it is that she has to wake up every morning to go do. So it's just all about finding something that works for you. I mean, I've been able to find it through all this matrix of it all. I was able to unplug from it, and that was the last thing that gave me the problems was the porn. It's the last thing that I was so plugged into it. I mean, I had really done a lot of work around everything else, but and it's still a work in progress. I'm not all the way there, but I did a lot of work around other things, and like the overeating. That's been, even alcohol intake. Like, I've been very moderate with that. Very, very. It's been fine. I haven't been drinking a lot, and when I do drink, it's manageable. So like, there's been a lot of W's that I've moved towards, but overall, like, around that was the last thing that had me plugged in. So once I unplugged from that, then the world kind of really just opened up even more, and that's like it's a whole benevolent process. Realistically, who would have thought once I stopped like doing all that, because all the women that I was attracting anyways are just because I attract that vibration, right? If I'm in that lower vibrational state where I'm just in a desire, egoic state, it just contracts. It just doesn't. Justin told me that, and so when he told me that, I'm like, wow, yeah, he's right. And that's what I realized the other night. I mean, we had a conversation a couple days, and then that ended up happening, and that's probably why it helped. And again, because the more I sat there and thought about it, I'm like, damn, he's right. It just contracts, and it contracts, and it contracts, and it contracts. All it does is contract. When you're just seeking and wanting what the ego wants, in terms of, like I said, that being lustful, that was the biggest one for me in particular. Even with food, it's like, that's so much you can get satisfied with it, but even still, it's contracting. That's all it's doing. It's not. There's no expansion out of it, and like, there are wants and desires that I want as like a natural being. Like, I just said it a couple minutes ago. I'm like, I want a relationship with somebody who loves me and loves me for who I am with no conditions on it. Like, that's a natural want and desire, and that's great. That's awesome. So like, now I'm really starting to like formulate that, and what I look for, what I'm looking for, more or less. Because like I said, the days of me just hopping into something with somebody, it's probably gonna be somebody who's not healthy for me, It's probably our traumas that are going to bind together. And this has happened with friendships too. It's not just like like the kid I used to live with, the roommate I used to live with. Our traumas just would bind together. That's how we met. We just met in rehab, and like our traumas just binded together. We ended up moving in together, and it obviously didn't work out. A lot of people told me that, but I wasn't really willing to listen at the time. And those people were correct. They're like, it's not going to work out. And I just had to do it for myself to learn. And now I have the understanding. And it's, you just keep meeting. I just kept meeting the same people, just in different fucking bodies. Not the same people, obviously, because everybody's different and unique in their own. But just in the sense of like the similarities in personalities and egos. Like I was just meeting the same people until I took a step back and really started to go within myself, and then started to see that a lot of this didn't really hold any weight. And that's why I'm just grateful for like the relationship I have with Shane, because it's like we've been friends, we've been brothers since fucking Title Boxing Club, and Dan was almost like 18, 19, 20, 4 years ago now, coming up 4 years. And like Shane's actually loved me for just who I am through every single phase, through every single phase that I've gone through. He's loved me from. He's the realest nigga that I fucking met. One of the realest niggas that I've ever met. And I'm grateful, man, that we have been able to continue this relationship, because the relationship's real. There's no like conditions on our relationship. I don't expect him to be a certain way. He doesn't expect me to be a certain way. So it just fucking works. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm grateful. You know, like I said, he's loved me through phases. He hasn't like just got up and been like, yo, Keen, you did this. Well, I can't be with you. No, Keen, you supported Trump. You did this. No. You said this. You said that. I felt this. Whatever the case may be, Shane was never like, yo, I'm never going to bounce on you like that. There have been times where we've, life has just gotten busy for both of us. So it's like, but we've always remained that like constant contact. And it's like, he'll call me, I'll call him. Like, we get busy. We figure out. We were at the fights the other night. We had a good time. A real good time. And I'm just really like, that's a relationship that, like I said, I will cherish forever. I will always have him in my life. He'll never go anywhere, and I'll never go anywhere for him. So it's like, it's worked very well. We've trained hard together. Like, the reason I'm into martial arts is because of him. All the gear that I have, it's all his fucking gear that he gave me. And so like, he's loved me unconditionally, and like that's the relationships that I'm looking for in my life, is to just not really looking for shallow, you know what I mean, people who will just love me upon a condition. That's why a lot of people I had to move on from. And I still have love for them, and I still send them love throughout the ether, but it's just like, or through the ether, I should say, but in terms of like keeping them around, it was just couldn't be myself. My old roommate, just couldn't be myself. So all the Black Lives Matter shit broke out. Now he cares, but he lived with a black person, and he didn't really treat me that well. So it's like, it's fake. My nigga, like, you're just being told to fucking care about this. I mean, so was I to a degree, but well, not only making it about race, but in the context of that, some of black folks, yeah, it's like, well, you live with a black person forever, and you weren't a good friend to me, but now you care all of a sudden. You want to just throw shit at cops, and you know what I mean? It's just like, it was fake, bro. So a lot of it was fake, and that's why a lot of people cut me out, because it just was like, from the beginning, I was like, yo, this shit's fake. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I supported Trump, and I went back on a lot of that, but my position on Black Lives Matter never changed. It's still the same. And it's like, anyways, I was able to like see the people who just loved me upon condition. And you just start to change. Once you start to change, whatever phases you go through, like, and people start dropping you off, it's just, they don't love you. They loved you until a certain fucking point, and then when they fucking saw who you were in that moment, even if it's just for an allotted period of time, they see that and then they just bounce. They're like, well, yeah, I'll block him or whatever, which is, you're just trying to control the language then if you're going to block somebody. And even, like I said, a lot of these people, I still have friends on Facebook, so I'm not going to like block them and be like, oh, fuck you, you know what I mean? But I think that, like, you're really able to like see more or less the people who, for me anyways, and I don't keep it on me, I was able to see the people that loved me based upon conditions and not loved me for who I was in that moment or for who I am now. Whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, bro. And I think for me, I was really able to start sifting through a lot of that. And like, once I started working with Nick and like just going into the process of, man, I was able to really like see that, like, okay, are you going to love me at this stage, or are you just going to dip on me and then never talk to me again, and then whatever, So it's like, that's just where I see a lot of sort of confusion. That's where it was for me. It was a lot of confusion because, like I said, I was confused. I'm like, okay, like I didn't do anything wrong to you. It's not like I robbed you, nigga. It's not like I punched you in the face or spit in you, whatever. I didn't. It's not like I did any of that. I just who I was. I was who I was in that moment, and you just couldn't. You just had conditions on me, and then once you really felt a type of way, you just bounced. And it's better off that I went through all that. That I did what I'm trying to. I know I kind of went, not all over the place, but I touched on a few different things there. But what I'm trying to say is I was able to sift through all that, and I was able to now really have the understanding of what it is in a relationship, even a friendship. Like I said, this is what I'm talking about now, a friendship that I'm looking for. And again, now it's easier for me to understand and see that. That's why I'm able to see Shane and be like, oh yeah, like this is my nigga, you've been this way forever. You've never switched up, and that's where I'm just extremely grateful to be able to see that now, because it's like I said, just to go back on all of what I'm saying, if you feel a certain way and then you just kind of like just don't want to talk to me, or you don't want to like even have a discussion on like what it is that we've had, it's like, well, then do you really love me? That's like more or less kind of the position I'm at now with certain relationships, you know what I mean? And I just have to think, that's all. Not even certain relationships, I wouldn't say. Other people in my life, I feel like we have that understanding. But this is just something that I look for in a relationship, in a friendship, even an intimate relationship. Eventually when that time comes, it's more or less like, if I open up to you and tell you who I am, are you just gonna bounce? Or well, not even bounce, but just like put conditions on the love. And that's where more or less, like, again, this work that I've been able to do has allowed me to kind of see all these things in such a grand way. And not even grand, I don't like that word, because that's just a lot of, it's a lot of my ego there, I don't like that word. Multifaceted way there, that's the word I was thinking of. It's just that word popped in, weird. In a really multifaceted sort of way, so now I can see what I'm looking for. And through the life experiences that I had, I was able to really see what I'm looking for overall. Because again, like I said, it was easy for me to just be stuck around people who were trying to control me or control whatever it was that I was saying, and I've done the same thing too, so I'm not, maybe I wasn't as abrasive, as maybe some other people, but I was also controlling. Also, especially my family, I was fucking controlling. So like, yeah, I'm not fucking absolved from that either. I've also was trying to control certain elements of relationships. Like I said, maybe not as abrasive as some of the people that I had before me, that I thought were my friends. People in, like I said, some people in NA and AA, it's like, oh, he doesn't want to do what we do. Well, then fuck it. You know what I mean? It's all right, bro. All right. He's fake. Okay, it's just all a lie anyways. It's just what you're telling me is based upon your own beliefs that you've constructed in your head based on your experiences. So maybe I'm faking your reality. I don't know. I have no fucking idea, nor do I really give a fuck, quite frankly. And all the shit that people, some of the people that I have had, I don't want to say people, because not everybody is like this. And a lot of people that I had prior, even some of my family, extended family, not like my sister or anything like that, or my mom, my dad, but my extended family, some of them just don't have a connection to them. So they find out who you are, it's all right. Yeah, I'm better than him. He's fake, or he's a disgrace to us. All this shit. It's all bullshit, quite frankly. And it took me a long time to get to that point. I was so hurt by it. So and rightfully so, to be hurt by that. Because it's like, I'm not hurting you. It's not like, if I went up to you and like kicked you in the leg or something, you know what I mean? Like if I said something to you that is harmful, then yeah, I would understand. Maybe the rebuttal I would understand, but none of that was you. This was just who I was in the moment. When I went through the Trump phase, and I went through all these different phases, like it was who I was in that moment, and then it showed me who but I see I didn't understand this then, so I just was kind of trying to fight the fire with the fire, So I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now that it was conditional love or whatever, respect, anything that connection, anything, it was all conditioned anyways. And in that moment, I could see, or when I went against the whole BLM thing, whatever, I could see that these people don't have any. They just put conditions on me, and once I spoke the truth, my truth in that moment, we'll see you later. So this was a really good topic that I wanted to just kind of discuss on, because it's been sitting with me for a little while, and I'm finally glad that I was able to hop on here and just create some content and just create something different. Try to get away from politics so much. I think it's good to talk about. I think it's important, but I want to just kind of more or less talk about what's been going on with me and the relationship elements. And I touched on intimacy. I touched on friendships. Touched on conditional versus unconditional love. So I'm satisfied with this. I think I ripped this, and I look forward to making more videos. So I'm going to keep the content coming out. Y'all be easy. Peace.